Welcome to the advisor side view of the DOSHI fintech app. DOSHI is intended to help advisors better manage and support clients and prospects. It's not a CRM. It uses content, advice, and conversation dynamics in order to build trust. Given that the lack of trust is a major impediment to millennials and Gen Z engaging with financial advisors and funds managers, perhaps this may warrant your attention. The advisors who use the app have three things in mind. They want to be able to reach out and build trust with their clients and prospects in a way which isn't forceful and isn't pitching particular products or services in the first instance. They want to try and build trust gradually. They want to provide generic advice and educative content to help improve the user's financial self-efficacy and to also demonstrate value. And thirdly, it's imperative that advisors are able to show transparency of service provision to all clients and prospects as part of regulatory compliance. DOSHI enables financial advisors, funds managers and the like to meet each of those objectives. When an advisor signs into the DOSHI app after they've set up their profile and information, which we'll look at shortly, they're looking at two main areas of interaction with their client and prospect base. We call these people collectively seekers. So there are two tabs that enable the advisor to engage and support, and there are three icons at the top of the screen as well as a main menu. The icons going from left to right are the referral or handshake icon, the notification icon, and the help or context sensitive tutorial on how to use the app. The main menu allows you to go in and out of the home screen to look at your profile, which you create when you sign in and register, and also to manage your progress compared to other advisors in the system. But let's start at the beginning. My Seekers. Here you can simply swipe your way through your seekers that are connected to you on the system. And remember, they choose to connect or disconnect to you at any time, and they also rate you. You can actually see how they've been rating you and other advisors. This guy's been very generous. DOSHI also delivers what we call real-time sentiment analysis. It provides a detailed picture using emojis into the emotional state of your seekers when it comes to money topics and issues that they discuss using the app across the chat system and across the tip and advisory system. This guy's a bit sad and he's anxious. That's important. It gives you some context when you make contact with these people and able to shift them along the service provision life cycle. Don't just stumble in like a bull into a china shop. Now, in terms of reaching and providing content and support to your seekers, there are two main ways you do this. The first one we look at is called tips. And this is effectively what we call a micro-blogging platform. It allows you to create what we call rich text tips or advice, which include links, bullet points, highlights, and all the rest of it. As you can see, this particular tip that you've published and shared has been viewed 9 times and has been liked 5 times. You can use the icons there to click and see if there are any comments, interactive comments between yourself and the other people connected with you as seekers. It creates a whole community around conversation around particular financial topics. It allows you to do it really quickly, really easily, as simple as sending a text message, but richer and more powerful. You can do it yourself, or it could be the role of the paraplanner. Now, you can create and edit these tips. Pretty simply. As I say, it's as easy as using a text, your normal text messaging, except it's richer with bullet points, URLs, and the like. We can delete that later, but we've saved a new tip there. It's saved. We go and see where it is. New tip. We can choose to show that tip or publish or unpublish it at any time. We can delete it, edit it, and view it. As soon as you publish it, all the seekers connect to you are able to read it. They're able to like it, dislike it, comment on it, and they get to share it as well. So it is a dynamic referral system based on the value of what you're providing to them. Now, we can actually see how we're going and progressing against the people also providing advice, the competition. This is what we call the Sensei score. You can see that this advisor score, which is the blue line, is the green line, sorry, and the average score, which is the average of all the other advisors. At your peak, you are scoring a 10, which the system dispassionately and independently calculates based around an algorithm that determines your affirmative action levels in relation to positive outcomes. So you've been operating as a grandmaster and your competition's been a mere ninja. You can see how your seekers are interacting with your advice tips for each individual. As you swipe through, you can see which ones have been interacting with which functions. We can see that using DOSHI has been viewed, liked, disliked, commented on, and shared by Joel. See, Wally Rodway's been active with 3 proper tips there, as has Andy Warner, who has done precious little with those tips. And so you are able to use the action or inaction as a means to reaching out and making contact and building a relationship. You can also see the other form of advice and financial knowledge that is used on the system. And what we call this the learn stream. And so we can have a look at how each of your seekers has viewed an electronic whiteboard video or listened to a podcast on particular financial topics that you have published using another part of the system, which we won't demonstrate here. If we scroll down, you can see that Joel has really struggled on the home loan deposits because he's missed the first three attempts to answer the question. Seeing there's only 4 options, he has some problems there. And the same with micro investments. What's that mean? Is by quickly looking at that, you go, oh, okay, I need to talk to Joel a bit more about organising a deposit for a home loan. He knows it's an issue because he's struggled to understand it. And so you're constantly updated with what's going on in the system using the notifications or notices. You can find out when someone likes or dislikes your post. You can find out when they've passed a particular learn content episode, send them a thumbs up, which I'll receive. A few there to give out by the look of it. They'll let you know when you've got a new connection, when someone's left a comment on a tip that you've published, and you can delete these whenever you like. And that's a very dynamic system. It lets you know exactly who's doing what on your system at any time, simply and quickly. Now, of course, you can also have one-to-one conversations with any of your seekers at any time using our instant messaging system, which is just called chat. You can attach files, emojis, and all the rest of it. Very simple, very easy. Subscriptions, these are pretty simple. You can see when you started and when it's due. The first 30 days is free, and the subscription bundles are offered as 30, 90, or 12-month options. And that's it for the advisor view. But we can sign out, come back in, and have a quick look at the learn content and what that means to you as a provider. Now, if we sneak some access through one of your seekers, this is what is presented to them. And we're just going to focus on two things. One is the learn content. Now, that is generated by a separate DOSHI app, which allows you to manage and produce your videos and podcasts and distribute them up here along with quiz questions. So as you can see, it's just a media player, which can be in portrait or landscape mode. Here are the current topics that this person has access to through his advisors, and we can look at any of those at any stage. So building a credit history. Hi, I'm Dr. Darryl Foy, co-founder of DOSHI. Today's episode is the first in a series whereby we investigate how you can build and improve your credit score. Now, building a credit history from scratch can be very challenging and a little scary. If you don't have a credit history, it's hard to get a loan, a credit card, or even accommodation. And so these typically run for anywhere between 2 and 4 minutes. And when they get to the end of each of these, you'll notice there's a pop-up quiz. This one's got a typo. And the individual seekers can answer these. They get obviously 4 attempts, and their attempts are recorded as we've seen before, and you can see how they've gone. So which of these is a sensible way to start building your credit history? And so they get instant feedback whether they get it right or whether they get it wrong. And just like you, they can have a look at which learn contents they've completed and how they've fared. As I say, the content and the quiz are generated through a separate DOSHI app. Also not shown here is a client services report. This is a comprehensive, tamper-proof, but auditable report which shows every single exchange, conversation, chat, content shared, content acted on by every single one of your clients and prospects, which may come in quite handy for providing transparency of service to the regulator. Thank you for listening and watching.